but right now we're going to join the man, Van Connor, our film critic. Van, how are you? It has been way too long, my friend.
I know it's been a minute, hasn't it, Petrie?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not on mute. I keep putting this thing on mute. It's just good to see you. How are you? How's the dog?
Oh, well, I've got another one now. I've got a puppy now as well. So I know. I'm going to have to send you a photograph. You're going to fall in like he's amazing. Anyway, look, let's talk movies. I am a huge fan of the Final Destination. Like, I mean, I hate horror.
That's my girl.
But I
That's
love
my girl right there.
because it's quite funny in a way. You can see it all coming, and I think it's great. But they've resurrected it now for is this the final one or not? The final?
No. I think when you had the fourth one and they titled it The Final Destination, and then they made a fifth one and just called it Final Destination 5. I think we gave up on any semblance of a stoppage. I think it's been about 14 years since the last one, since Final Destination 5. I think that was 2011.
Wow.
I think I just started reviewing movies when that last one came out. They took a break. The franchise was seemingly dead. It's now 25 years this year since the very first one, so they've made a new one that might be the biggest, boldest one yet, that actually wraps, sort of unintentionally but not convolutingly, all of it up in kind of a shared mythology, and even gives us both a cathartic and emotionally resonant arc and goodbye for the late great Tony Todd, who plays the coroner in this series. And
a busy coroner.
Very busy coroner. So obviously, if you've seen one Final Destination movie, you know the formula for them all.
Yeah.
A teenager has a premonition of a disaster in which everyone dies, then snaps back to reality, sees it's about to happen, averts the disaster, and because they've meddled with Death's plan, Death comes for them and picks them off one by one in a series of Rube Goldberg-like traps.
Weird. It's made me really conscious of having a sort of knife.
The marble hits the spoon, which knocks the tap, which knocks the wrench.
It's like the mousetrap. It's like that game, The Mousetrap. Right, I mean, it's brilliant. I love it because you can literally see it about to happen, and it fills me with joy. I don't know why. We've got a clip.
We have this time around, just to let you know, the big disaster is a Space Needle-like restaurant coming down, and potentially hundreds of people having to be bumped off by Death. So this is Tony Todd explaining how this works.
So, which one of you is next?
Iris said that you'd found somebody who stopped Death and survived.
Yes.
And how do we do that?
There are only two ways. By killing or by dying. If you take a life, you get the time that person had left.
What? No, I'm not gonna kill someone.
Maybe we should let the guy finish.
Then to truly break the cycle, you have to die.
Do you see, Van, I don't remember that bit about if you kill someone, you get the time they had left. That wasn't it.
They've added more rules to the mythology as the sequels have gone on. I
thought
think
that was new.
It sort of loosely makes sense. I do watch the first 5 of these somewhat regular, like every year and a half or so. But I wouldn't say I really pay that much attention to the mythology.
No, that's true.
You're watching it for the deaths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a Saw movie. You're watching it for the deaths, and this does not disappoint.
No, I mean, I think they're a really good franchise. Actually, I don't mind more of them. It's in cinemas now, right?
It is, and it's in IMAX for I think about the rest of today, because as of maybe until Friday, because Mission Impossible is going to take over IMAX at that point. So we're going from one IMAX
is going to take over
another.
everything. Yeah, I mean that's just the truth. Just very quickly, what is the classification on Final Destination?
On Final Destination, I believe I've not actually checked. I believe it's a 15.
Yeah.
But it's possible it might tip over. I would be shocked if it tipped over into 18.
Yeah, they'll make sure it's just under that. It'll be a 15 on that. So, talking of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, will it be? Probably not. But this is the second half.
Yeah.
Because we've seen one half, and then this is the second half.
Yes, and we had Dead Reckoning Part 1 2 years ago, and then by the time that thing hit home release, because the movie had underperformed, they blamed it on the fact that nobody was interested in this Part 1, Part 2 nonsense, so they dropped the Part 1, and it is now just Dead Reckoning. So Part 2 is here, and it's called The Final Reckoning, which also confusingly suggests it's the series finale, even though it really doesn't need to be.
No.
Part 2 of that story, though, in which the IMF force the team led by Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt, are on the trail of a key that can control an AI known as the Entity, which started out as a spy program and has now basically turned into the new Skynet and can put out fake news and alter CCTV and things like that on the fly. The previous movie involved them getting the key. This movie, put simply, involves them getting to the lock. And yes, it's that half of it. It's getting to the source code of this AI, which happens to be in a submarine under the Arctic Ocean. And in order to get there, Ethan Hunt has to go and ask the last people in the universe that he ever should for a favor. He goes and asks the US government. So that's a clip I've got for you now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't love the first half of this, I have to be honest, but I do want to... I didn't. I thought it meandered. I thought it was trying very hard to be the first half. It could have been shorter. But I am interested in seeing... I love the Mission Impossible franchise as well, so I'm happy to see it.
You're not alone in that assessment of the previous half. I've had a good time with it myself personally, but I know that it is quite a widely held opinion that the first half was quite disappointing. No, I love the Mission Impossible movies like you. I had a great time with this, but my God, it's a mess. Like, it's overlong. It's 2 3/4 hours long. Whoa. The first hour of it has, I think I lost count at 3 montages. Like 3 montages that we had. At one point, they're recapping in time. The movie presumes that you've never seen a Mission Impossible movie before, despite the fact that at one point this was part 2 of 2, chapter 8 of 8. You know, it's the most deranged thing. Every single line of dialogue in the first hour is a monologue. Not dialogue, a monologue.
To explain what's happened.
Everybody speaks in this bizarre, grandiose, pseudo-Shakespearean twaddle. Like, we exist in shadows and we service the entity's world now. You're like, what? People don't call it. Anyway, then you get about an hour into it and the spy stuff actually starts happening and Ethan Hunt gets to hang off of things.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're strapped on in and you have such a good time you didn't care about the previous hour.
Okay.
That's basically how this goes. There is no other action movie like this. I've said it before, and I can now stand by it. That the best Bond movie made this century isn't even half as good as the worst Mission Impossible. And having now seen the worst Mission Impossible movie, I know that that's accurate. That's the best part.
You say this is the worst one, but it's better than a Bond.
I think this is the worst Mission Impossible movie, but still better than any Daniel Craig Bond movie. And Pierce Brosnan's Die Another Day, which is the only other one made this century.
Rubbish as well.
Oh, no, I will stand by that. I will happily lay my guns on the line for that.
For Pierce Brosnan?
I would say the first 3 Pierce Brosnan movies are better than any of the Daniel Craig ones of this genre.
Oh, that is controversial. That is controversial.
I'll go there.
Well, there might be fisticuffs. But listen, I love a bit of Ethan Hunt. I think that he's probably peaking age-wise to be able to do this again. But you've got Simon Pegg in it, and anything with Simon Pegg in it is all right by me.
Yeah, and he gets a little bit more time in the spotlight than usual this time around. He actually gets put into like a position of like leadership here and there, and kind of struggles with it, gets a bit awkward about it, so has to gain the confidence. And Simon Pegg, who I never really rated as an actor,
I
thought this whole Mission Impossible thing was kind of a lark. I think he really pulls it out of the bag for this.
Yeah, no, I think he's great. I mean, I've loved everything he's done. You know, World's End and Shaun of the Dead and all of those. I think he's underrated, and I think he's great. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to that. Van, thank you, my love, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care.